Are you posting content online, but no one is reaching out to buy your services? Have you ever wondered why some brands seem to effortlessly capture the attention of their audience and build a loyal client base? Do you want to know the top secrets for winning over your dream clients? If so, you are in luck and you'll want to stay tuned because that's exactly what we're talking about in today's video.
Just waiting for you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time seeing my face. I am Brynja and I help entrepreneurs and creatives master your mindset and your marketing strategy to design a life and business that you just absolutely love. Today, I am so excited, you guys, because I'm sharing with you all about how to increase brand awareness. This video is perfect for you if you are struggling to capture your audience's attention and bring leads into your business. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of what you need to focus on to build more interest and engagement with your target audience. But before we get into the tips, if you are interested in all things mindset, entrepreneurship, and becoming the best version of yourself, you will love my videos. Don't forget to subscribe below so you can catch more videos just like this one. All right, are you ready to start increasing brand awareness? Then let's get right into the video. So first, I am big on definitions and making sure that we lay the groundwork for clarity. Let's define brand awareness. What is brand awareness? Brand awareness refers to how familiar your target audience is with your brand and how well they recognize it. The reason why it is such an important tool when it comes to business building is because if you neglect brand awareness, you will have difficulty attracting new clients and customers into your business. We as consumers, we tend to buy from and work with people who we feel familiar with, who we've heard of before, right? And even further when we have an idea of what they stand for and how they help. So creating more brand awareness will help your brand and your business stay at the top of mind for your target audience. It will increase the likelihood that your customers use your services and your products over the services and products of your competitors, which ultimately provides you a competitive edge in such saturated markets. And ultimately, it is literally the foundation for building trust, attracting your dream clients, and driving more sales into your business. So now that we know what brand awareness is and why it's so important to marketing successfully and building a successful business, let's now get into 3 major steps for increasing your brand awareness. Step number 1, I'm so excited, you guys. All right, step number 1 is going to be to create a strong brand identity. A lot of entrepreneurs don't understand that there is a very, very big difference between your business and your brand. Your business is simply going to be the services and the products that you exchange for money, but your brand is going to include the visual images, the personality, and the voice that your business will share when you want to directly connect with your audience. Your brand is how you uniquely show up, how you help and meet your audience's specific desires and needs through your services and products. And your brand is also going to clearly show what makes you different from other brands and service providers in your industry. So even though a lot of new entrepreneurs make the mistake of not spending enough time creating your brand identity, ultimately your brand's identity is what is going to compel people to buy from your business. And the more well-defined and clear your brand is, the better you are able to deeply connect with your target audience, which is the backbone of what makes your business successful. For example, think about some larger companies like Disney. 9 times out of 10, you are not going to Disney World just because of the products, just because of the rides, right? You can go to any amusement park and ride on cool rides. You are choosing to interact with Disney because you and your family or your friends want the magical experience that Disney as a brand, as a company represents. Disney represents whimsical, fun, colorful, magical, right? Disney appeals very, very easily for children. However, you can tell from the way that Disney shows up as a brand that they are looking to appeal to the kid in all of us. So you're not just going to Disney World because of the rides, you're going because of a certain experience, a certain feeling, a certain connection that you have to the Disney brand and what it represents. So now let's talk about what happens if you don't create a strong brand identity. Without a clear and well-defined brand identity, your efforts to market and promote your business will likely not resonate strongly with your audience. You may even mistakenly leave your audience feeling confused about your brand, who you are, and what you offer. Common mistakes you could be making that might be hindering you from developing a strong brand identity are you're trying to appeal to everyone or a very, very vague, large group of people. When you're trying to appeal to everyone, it waters down your message to where your brand feels so vague and so fluffy that you struggle to effectively reach the people who would actually benefit the most and appreciate your services, products, and offers. It is going to be really important that you remember that your target audience is very different from your actual audience. Your target audience is really who you are getting to know and who you're specifically creating your services and products for. However, your actual audience will include all of the people that land on your products and your services. So for example, even though I make content for entrepreneurs, for creatives, because I'm talking about brand identity and branding, some bigger companies may be interested in my video because of the content of it. However, when I create my content, I keep entrepreneurs and creatives at the top of my mind so I can speak directly to your specific needs. So don't water yourself down by trying to appeal to everyone, and know that your actual audience will be filled with all types of different people who will benefit from you showing up. A second mistake that I see a lot of entrepreneurs and creatives making is that you are not clearly communicating what makes your brand different or better than your competitors or others in your industry. Making this mistake makes it really, really difficult for potential customers to see the unique value of your brand, of your services. And the third mistake that I see a lot of newer entrepreneurs and creatives making is that you're not clearly communicating your brand's story and your values. These are very powerful ways to stand out and relate. So let's talk about what you should do instead. You want to make sure that you're clearly defining your target audience, that you know who they are, what they care about. You also want to spend some time mapping out what makes your business services better, different, more valuable than those of your competitors. So when you think of your programs, when you think of your products, what makes it different? What makes it better? And the third thing you want to do to develop a strong identity for your brand is you want to clearly and confidently communicate your brand story and your values so that your audience can relate and resonate. I'm working with a client now who is building a fitness coaching brand, and faith is one of his core brand values. So the work that we're doing together is I'm helping him connect deeply to how those two things work together meaningfully so that not only he can feel super connected to speaking about his brand confidently and clearly, but also his target audience, which is filled with faith-based people who are interested in fitness, also deeply feel connected to his brand. Gold, right? So step number one to increasing awareness around your brand is going to be to create a very strong brand identity. Let's get into step number two. Now, once you've created a strong brand identity, now you're going to increase intrigue, interest, and engagement with sticky content. Sticky content is content that your audience remembers after interacting with it, that inspires them to come back for more. And the reason why creating this type of content is so important to boosting brand awareness is because it is vital that as a business owner, as a service provider, you find meaningful ways to engage and connect with the people in your target audience. It is very, very important that you build meaningful relationships and that you create a sense of community around your brand. And as we all know, social media content, it's a very, very powerful way to do that, but you want to make sure that you're doing it the right way. So how do you actually know if your content is sticky enough, right? First, let's talk about some common mistakes that you might be making that is leading to your content not being sticky enough. One common mistake is if you have a belief that posting is enough, that simply posting content is enough. A lot of the times I hear coaches and people talking about quantity over quality, about just create, put out as much content as you can. And the problem that happens with this is simply posting is not enough. And not only that, but posting and not understanding how to make it sticky, it can really lead to burnout and discouragement from posting altogether. Another mistake that I see a lot of newer entrepreneurs and creatives making is that you are creating content that sticks to the surface. Your content is too vague, it's too fluffy, and it doesn't strategically go deep enough. It's not moving your client in any way that makes them want to come back and get more. Another mistake I see people making when it comes to content is obsessing over aesthetics versus getting really, really good at providing value. Other mistakes I see are obsessing over things like likes and comments instead of engaging engaging in meaningful conversations. Or if you do get likes and comments, you might not even be responding in detail to your comments, or you're just liking a person's comment back. Oh my gosh, this is a huge one that I see is you've posted something, someone, commented under it, and then you might just go and like it. When you just like it, instead of having a conversation and sparking a conversation, you are then missing out on valuable opportunities to connect with people in your target audience. And the last mistake is you're not tailoring your content to your brand identity. When your content is tied to your brand identity, you provide your audience with an opportunity to deeply resonate with your story, your brand's values. But when you don't tie it to your brand identity, you miss the mark on allowing your content to deeply resonate with similar identities that your target audience likely shares. So here's what to do instead. You want to create content that keeps people coming back because they relate and resonate with your brand identity. Create content that goes a little bit deeper, that provides value, and that allows people to relate to your brand. Nike is a great example of a company that does this really well. Nike appeals to athletes, sports enthusiasts, and people who like to live an active lifestyle. And you see this all throughout their content. And they show this slogan, "Just do it," in pretty much every commercial, right? In all of their stores, it's gonna be there. And through their content and their messaging, Nike empowers people to push your limit and to strive for excellence regardless of your skill level, your background, disabilities even, any circumstance. Nike stands for pushing through all of that. And you see these truths scattered throughout their commercials. I actually watched a Nike commercial recently from 2020. I'm gonna put it in the description box below. You guys, when I saw this commercial, it gives me goosebumps. It just speaks to how well Nike as a brand shares their message of just doing it. And it just creates the good feels. Through their content, they create such amazing emotions. It makes you want to be a part of what they're talking about, and that makes you want to buy their products and services because you believe in what they stand for. Step number 3 for increasing your brand's awareness is going to be to share your brand shamelessly, okay? And I use the word shamelessly with intention, you guys. The word shamelessly means boldly, openly, blatantly, without shame, of course, without guilt, and without a sense of self-consciousness. So when I talk about sharing your brand shamelessly, I'm talking about not doubting yourself as you share. I'm talking about sharing openly, sharing blatantly, sharing loudly and boldly. Notice though, I didn't say to share without fear. Fear is okay. We can be friends with fear. I talk about that all the time in my program of how to be friends with fear, how to feel the fear and do it anyways. But you do want to shoot for sharing about your brand without a sense of guilt. I feel like a lot of people have a sense of guilt when they share about their services or when they share about their brands. When I think about this step, I think about this creator. Her name was Shameless Maya. I don't know if you've heard of Shameless Maya, but she's an OG YouTuber. She decided to do an experiment of what would happen if she shameless promoted herself for 365 days. This girl ended up being on the cover of the New York Times. She's been on the cover of US Weekly. She has worked with Disney, and she is sitting at over 1 million subscribers on YouTube right now. All because she decided to promote herself and share her brand shamelessly. The reason why you want to share your brand shamelessly is because every single time you share is a new opportunity for your target audience to connect meaningfully. Every single time you share, you are giving another person an opportunity to become aware that you and your brand exists. Every single time you share, you can do this. But I will admit that it does take a certain mindset to do this, right? There's definitely a certain level of mindset work that needs to go into this third step. Let's talk about some common mistakes people have when it comes to sharing about your brand a little bit more boldly. The first mistake is lacking frequency. This might be you. Many entrepreneurs do not share about their brand at all. Many people focus a lot behind the scenes with legal things and planning and preparation, but this is a common mistake that can lead to forever procrastination. Or maybe you are sharing about your brand, but you're barely sharing about it. You may have only shared about it a few times total, and maybe you got a little bit discouraged, but you are not currently sharing about your brand consistently from week to week to week. And the result of making these mistakes around the frequency is that little to no people know that your brand exists, or they haven't built a solid understanding of how you help. And then they don't feel inspired to work with you, which leads to you feeling discouraged. So you see how this kind of all works together? Sometimes entrepreneurs make the mistake of thinking that your brand or your product or your services are not good enough, but really it's just that you've only shared a couple of times and people don't have a good enough understanding of what it is that you are talking about. Which leads me into the second mistake that people make when it comes to sharing about your brand shamelessly, which is that you might lack specificity. So let's say that you have been sharing about your brand, but you did not share about the details of what it is that you're working on. You're not getting detailed enough. And the result of this is that your audience doesn't have a clear enough picture or vision of your brand's identity, of the value of your brand that actually inspires your audience to buy. A third mistake I see is a lack of repetition. This looks like not sharing about your brand repeatedly in a similar way so that it sticks. Think about how often we've seen McDonald's bright yellow golden arches. How many times have you heard ba-da-ba-ba-ba? How many times have you seen Nike say just do it? And how many times have you seen Mickey Mouse's cute little face, pointy nose, and big ol' ears? Repetition is important, and studies show that it takes people on average 7 times to interact with our brand before people choose to buy from us. So repetition breeds familiarity and trust. So that's something that I really care about in my program, is teaching you how to find certain things in your message that you can use as catchphrases to build familiarity and repetition into your branding. When it comes to sharing or promoting your brand shamelessly, first you want to do the mindset work. As I've mentioned before, in order to share shamelessly, in order to share and promote your brand without guilt, without self-consciousness, there's a level of inner work that you need to do that. You must strengthen your mindset where you are able to show up and share about your brand, its values, what you're working on, who you help, about your services confidently and proudly. Many entrepreneurs make the mistake of thinking that sharing your brand regularly is annoying or bothersome. So you have to be able to overcome those limiting beliefs to share your brand more proudly. I suggest that you develop a mindset routine. I teach how to develop elevation exercises or radiance rituals, which are feel-good rituals and routines that you use to strategically shift your state when you need to feel more confident, more energetic, so that you can do the darn thing when it comes to promoting your brand and your business. So first, you want to make sure that you are doing the right mindset work. Next, you want to make sure that you are showing up more frequently, you are getting more specific with what you share, and you're making sure that it is relevant to your audience's needs and what your business offers. And thirdly, you want to make sure that you're repeating yourself enough. So to increase brand awareness, make sure that you are creating a strong enough brand identity, increasing intrigue and interest in your brand by producing sticky content, and that you are also sharing about your brand shamelessly. If you follow these 3 steps that I've shared in this video today, and you do it in a way that is effective, you are well on your way to increasing awareness around your brand. Today, I shared quite a few examples for bigger companies. However, it is likely that if you are an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, you're creative, you are trying to build your personal brand. And that is exactly why I created my program, Crickets to Clients, where I help you step by step master the process of creating awareness around your personal brand. I show you how to create your brand identity, create sticky content, and how to master your mindset so that you can share your brand shamelessly to attract new clients into your business consistently. When you choose to sign up for my program, you can stop missing out on valuable opportunities to capture your audience's attention, and you can start showing up in your business with more clarity, more confidence, and more consistency than ever before. If you want that for you, be sure to check the link below for more information on how to work with me and make this a reality for you and your business. That's all for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. It has been a pleasure, and I will see you in the next video.